Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello everyone and welcome to the next instalment of Build the Knight Rider issue number 3 here today. And as some of you know, I am doing 2 of this, and you may have seen some pictures on the group that, you know, the wheel that I've done already. So what we're going to be doing now is actually doing it all over again. So yeah, this is Knight Rider. As you can see, we've actually got a proper magazine this time. There was a bit of a mistake. They sent me a German one by error, and the team are brilliant. You've got a problem, get onto them, they'll sort it. So as you can see in this issue, stage 3, we're going to be doing the one of the wheels. I don't know whether it's right or left, but looking at this, it's probably the right one. And as you can see, sandwiching all this together with the 2 parts for the left wheel rim, putting some calipers on, and then obviously the brake disc, and then we'll have something that looks like that by putting the brake disc assembly in, and obviously the arm as well, and then putting the hubcap on, securing that in with screws, whacking in a washer before the hubcap, and then we'll have something like this. So let's get into the part itself. So yeah, this is really, really good. It's come so quick compared from when they sent the first pack, so I'm really happy with that. The first thing what we need to do is, as you can see, it's got Goodyear on here, and also it's got Eagle GT on it, and on the reverse the same thing. Now, as you know, with some tyres, they can be hard, or some tyres you have to put them in water to you know, soften them a bit. But these tyres are the ones where we just push them in. They're not one of them tyres where you put them in and try and, you know, get it over the rim of this. These ones just push into there like that, as you can see. And then when we turn this over, the next thing we have to do is to get this part here, which is all the parts for the brake rim. So this one here, 3B, is the butt side of the front left rim. Now, as you can see, what we need to do, we've got 3 holes there which need to marry up to these 3 holes in here. Now, I did struggle with this when I tried to put this on the one I do off camera, because it's quite, you hear that click noise, it's quite a challenge, because as you can see in there, you've got like a gap in there, so we have to really push it down. And then the trick to that is, what we need to do then is to get our EM screws. So what we're going to do with this is the EM screw, when we get it, got millions upon millions of screws here. EM, where's my EMs? Just bear with me, I picked up 2 FMs. So let me see over here. EM, there we go. So yeah, the trick to this, I'll show you in a minute, is we'll get our EM screws. So as you know, I do this on subscription because Fan Home don't currently have any plans to bring this to the newsagents at the moment. But what we're going to do is we're going to get an EM screw, and what will happen is, as we're screwing this down, the screw will grip the other side of in there, and then that is what makes it sandwich together. So if you apply some pressure just to get it into the notch of where it needs to screw into, you see what's happening? It's pulling the 2 halves of the rim together. So as you can see, screwed up like that, and as you can see, it's now sealed that gap up. So where we've got a gap here, you see that gap? As we've put the screw in, it's sandwiched it and clamped it. So then what we need to do is to do that another few times. So all really good. So yeah, I'm really impressed with Fan Home, they're brilliant. And at the time of filming this, I've actually discovered that the Agostini Collectibles may be bringing the Iron Man to their side as well. Okay, let's have a look. Something's not right here. So what I'm going to do, because this screw's giving us a little bit of a jip, because there's quite a large gap there, so what we may need to do is just give it a little helping hand. Can you see, as I'm pushing it, it's compressing it, but we need to, there we go, I think, yeah, there we go. So yeah, these are the tyres I love, because They're the ones where you don't have to put them in water, wait around. They're one of my favourite tyres to work on. So that's the next screw. And then we're going to put in the other one here, which is really, really good. So I've already got 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the next shipment, I suspect, will be some point in February. I think because obviously this was delayed, they've speeded it up for me, which is quite nice. Because remember, I subbed in November, and they've been so overwhelmed. It's so popular, this build. So yeah, there we go. That is that for now. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to get the brake disc, the brake caliper. We've got this little section here. Now, as you can see, 2 holes either side of here, and we're going to marry them up with the 2 holes that we've got either side of here. They do want it so that you've got the holes facing upwards. You've got a little L indentation there, which replicates that it's left, and I suspect, yeah, it looks as if it's going to go something like that. So let me just double check that. I think, let's have a look here, unless it goes something like that. Yep, that's more of the chicken dinner. So make sure that you've got this little point, because it's directional. As you can see, it's got the little point there. Make sure that that little point is facing upwards. And as you can see, it goes over there like so. Next, we're going to get the BP screws. So that'll be the next ones to get. And we're going to secure them in with 2 BP screws. These screwdrivers, as you know, they come from the Ironman build. They are superb to work with, and they're one of my favourite screwdrivers to work with, just because it's just a posh screwdriver. So that's one, and then we're going to put the other one into place. All I've heard today is buses go up and down. Because the ones in Witham, yeah, they sort of finish around 7:30, but we have one here that goes from Braintree to Colchester, so some of them go by at like 10 o'clock at night. I always remember London with the night buses. I love that. So that's all that secured into place. So we've done that like so, ready to attach the brake disc. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to get these 2 parts here, which form the brake disc. And as you can see, we've got 3 pins going around there, which are going to marry up with these parts here. Again, you've got the mark L there, which represents left. You want to put that on the underside. And as you can see, we're going to push that there, give it a lovely firm push, and then, hang on a minute, there's me saying that, and then, there we go. So you sort of hear that click if you listen. You hear that click? That's it going into place. Now, if you wanted to, you could put a little bit of reinforcement of glue in there if you wanted to glue it on, but to be fair with you, that's nice and secure, it's not coming off. So once that's done like that, as you can see, we're now going to bring in this section here. And we want to make sure that this little notch is facing, they want it sort of facing, so if we've got the brake disc like that, they want the notch facing that way. And we've got to slot that into there like that. Okay, so this just slots into this little gap, just like that. Okay. Once we've done that, we're going to bring in the wheel again, because now we're going to be working on here. You see that this part here, has got like a little notch groove. What that is for is so that it can slot onto that. You see that little notch on the wheel? You've got like a little shaft that looks like a notch. That's so that that can grip onto there like that. So as you can see, it grips onto there like so. It can't go anywhere because it's locked into that brake caliper there. And what's going to happen is we're going to feed this part here, and the post of it is going to go over the top, through the middle like so. So that looks absolutely fantastic. The next part, what we need to do is to get our washer, which is this part here, and we're going to put the washer over the top and through the top of here, so it just sits into the centre like so. Now this is where we need our FM screws, so I'm just going to rest that there so it don't lose anywhere. So we've got EM, oh we did have EM, okay, FM, so let me get FM, that's HM, FM, there we go, lovely. So we get our FM screws. Now these, there's another Colchester bus. you hear their engine where it goes like that. It's like a hiss sound. But as you can see, this is a nice screw because the top of it is what I would call a chamfered head screw, and it stops it going anywhere. So we're going to pick this up like so, and then we're going to screw that all the way down here, making sure it's all secured onto that brake caliper and disc. Nice big screw down there. Make sure it's lovely and tight. I do like my screws nice and tight, and yeah, there we go. And as you can see, if it's too tight like I've done there, what you can do is just loosen it off, because you need it loose so that the wheel can move. So as you can see, that's not going to go anywhere, it's nice and secure. If we need to loosen it off a little bit more, I might just do it a little bit more so we've got some play in that. As you can see, very nicely done. What's going to happen after that is, this is really groovy. You know, back in the DeLorean, terrible design. With the hubcap, they just used a screw and then they put hubcap over it. And what happened is, if you needed to get the wheel off, you would have to dig at it and prise it off. Fanhome and a lot of the other publishers now have realised that that is the problem. You know, they've realised that we've got a much better design here, especially with Fanhome. This is great. You just put it over the top and screw it on. In all the builds I've worked with, DeLorean was one of the most ridiculous, poorly bad builds that I've ever worked on, because as I said, you wanted to get that wheel off, you would have to dig at the hubcap to get it off. And then we had like Mike Lane, who bring out magnetic hubcaps. That was great. So this is quite a nice little area here. It resembles sort of like a flower with a petals going around. So imagine that's like the scent of the flower, and then you've got like the petals of the leaves. That's what it reminds me of. And as you can see, we're just going to pop that into there, like so. You've got like a little triangle, sort of like an arrow on there. It doesn't really matter where you put that, because either way it's going to be round, you know, which way you want. But obviously, for the purposes of this video, if we've got this one here, so they've got like the little gouge thing there, we're going to put it so that the arrow is basically, just put that on so that the arrow is facing that way. So they've got this valve here, that's what it's called, a valve, and then they've got the arrow sort of pointing that way, because as you can see, there's like a little arrow printed on that. And then what's going to happen is, the last thing we need to do is we need to get our AM screws, and good on Fanhome, so well done Fanhome for labelling your screws, because if it's anything like Hachette, as you know, they don't label them, especially in the Terminator. I think it was Terminator and Spitfire, they don't label. And they've only just realised that again, and now they've started to label them with Eddie Stobart, and they still get it wrong because there's a misprint in the book for the labels and that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 2, 3, 4, 5 screws into here. So that's that one there, and we're going to duplicate that as well. I've actually got this one better in than the first one. You know, when you do the first bit, first part of a new build, you know, you're getting used to it and stuff like that. Now, I know I said I won't be doing another car build again, but come on guys, this is Knight Rider. This is a very famous car, so yeah, I have to do this. Plus my mum likes David Hasselhoff, there we go. And then what we're going to do is secure that in one more time and pop that one into there. So as you can see guys, look at the detail on that. What can I say? This is absolutely superb. This mechanism is fantastic. You know, you can really move that round if you wanted to, like so. Ready to attach it on the wheel. The wheel is very heavy, and as you can see, you've got this lovely shiny, you know, you can see how reflective it is in there, but you've got this lovely shiny hubcap. And again, you know, if you wanted to get that off, just whack out some screws. But hopefully our, you know, Model Mods or Mike Lane may be able to come out with a mod where you could just like magnetize it on and off. I think that would be pretty good. But yeah, there's no reason why you need to take that off. Once it's screwed down, there's no reason why you should need to take that hubcap off again. But as you can see, the only sort of reason would be if you need to loosen this arm off a bit. But yeah, that's a lovely issue. That's issue number 3 done and dusted. So as you can see, what's coming up in the next issue, I will give you a sneak preview. Although you can look on your online account. So I'll show you the next couple of issues actually. So as you can see, issue 4, I have issues 4 to 6, and coming up in issue 4 we're all doing parts for the dashboard there. That's a really fun one. So we're going to be doing parts for the dashboard, as you can see, bits and pieces there. So really, really good. And then that's that one out the way. Then if we do issue 5, so as you can see, I've got quite a backlog to get through, which is so exciting. I love it when you get loads of issues and then you can just build like a lot in one go. So this is a really good one. I absolutely love doing this on the first one, which is parts for the steering wheel assembly and scanner light test. When you put the lights in, it's brilliant. And I know people are a bit nervous of this circuit board because it bends. Literally don't worry about it, because when you put it in, it's literally just a tiny weeny bend, and yeah, it goes in perfect. So as you can see, bits to that, and all tickety-boo there. And you do need 4 cells. They're not batteries, they're called cells. So scientifically they are batteries, but scientifically they're called cells. So that's that one. And then in issue number 6 is we have parts for the front suspension. So all these have been done already on my first car. This is the second one. So this will be the one that's not modded. So when obviously I've built the other car, I will be doing, just because there's no point me filming 2 of the same thing. So when the other car's built, I will show you how to do the mods on it and stuff like that, because I'm modding it into car. K8RR. So that's that. So we've got plenty of Night Rider to do, and what I'm going to do is going to bring this to the channel weekly, because hopefully by the end of the 4th week we should have the next consignment. So that is issue number 3 once again. Where's it gone? There we go. Issue number 3 is this lovely sexy wheel. Gorgeous, gorgeous piece of kit this, and Fan Home, you've done a really good job at this, so well done on you. So yeah, don't forget there's awesome novelties coming to Fan Home hopefully this year. I don't know what's in store, you know, we could have anything. I really hope they bring Short Circuit. I would love to do that. But yeah, hope you like that video. Please remember to like, share and subscribe. We'll see you next week for more of Night Rider. Take care guys, bye bye.